Let's see if I can get this video up before the rugby starts. Probably not. But anyway, a few days ago, a buddy of mine said to me, "Oh, great, you're back. I can't believe you haven't done a video on the EPA ruling." I thought, well, thanks for putting me on the spot, you arsehole. But he said, no, this is far bigger than Roe versus Wade. This goes back all the way to FDR. So I went, oh, wow, really? Okay, I'll better check it out then. And I'll be damned, he is correct. Hell, this goes back even further to Woodrow Wilson. And yes, I do know I mention him all the time, but he really was one of the most despicably evil, well, consequentially anyway, men in all of U.S. history. So here's a quick lesson, and PragerU has a good video explaining this called Who Are the Most Powerful People in America? In the US, laws are created by Congress, but ever since Woodrow Wilson and then later FDR, you had the creation of all of these acronym agencies, the likes of, say, the EPA, the FDA, the FEC, FCC, etc., etc. Congress would pass these vague, ambiguous laws, and these unaccountable bureaucracies would then fill in the blanks. And this created what is now known as the administrative state. You may have heard Steve Bannon saying wanting to take a hammer to that entire thing, and this is what America has been running on, this monstrosity, for more than half a century. So the latest ruling has to do with the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, which I think was established under Nixon. Why the hell do I know any of this? But anyway, the specific issue in this case, then, is whether under a portion of the 1970 Clean Air Act, Congress had the constitutional power to allow the EPA to issue substantial rulings. So these are rules that are capable of reshaping the nation's entire electricity grid and unilaterally decarbonizing virtually any sector of the entire economy without any limits on what the agency can require so long as it considers costs, non-air impacts, and energy requirements. So this particular case involves rules that allow the EPA to regulate emissions. So the EPA under Obama pulled what was called the Clean Power Plan to curb emissions. The lower courts, when the Trump administration tried to fight it, said the EPA is essentially sovereign, with power to regulate as they see fit, with almost limitless power. Trump then ruled with his own, the Affordable Clean Energy, to override that and gave the states the power to overrule. So this ruling by SCOTUS now sides with West Virginia against the EPA, essentially saying to those federal agencies, no, you do not have the power for this kind of regulation. It is a violation of, I believe, the 10th Amendment, which is states' rights, so fuck off. Only Congress has that kind of power. They are at least accountable to the people. Voting theory anyway. Now, as far as I'm aware, Congress can give the agencies that kind of regulatory power. However, given the current composition of Congress, that is very unlikely to happen. Congress is in gridlock. So this not only affects the EPA, but effectively all the acronym agencies and how and if they have any regulatory power at all, which is a huge blow to the administrative state. This is a really big fucking deal. So this renders the Biden administration largely impotent, dead in the water. So if the MAGA base can sweep the midterms and Trump wins in 2024, holy hell, this is going to make 2016 look like child's play. Now, the reason why the left are so up in arms about the Supreme Court is because their job is to interpret and uphold the Constitution. That is their lifetime gig. Liberals hate the Constitution. They want to see it go up in smoke. To them, it is an obstacle to their tyrannical aspirations, which would make a rock-solid case that any liberal justice on the court is a threat to the country's stability. One journalist who made an excellent case that the Supreme Court should not represent the country in the name of balance, as balance is inherently unstable. Think of a seesaw. Having all the weight on one side is far more stable. You can't have a court that decides things on the whims and wishes of the people rather than the law. It would be all over the shop. And this is all possible because of Trump's justices, which again explains the shrieking mimsies who scream fascist like it's sustenance for their miserably ignorant existence. So this is a huge win for Trump. Even out of office, his large shadow still looms over the United States. Fantastic. Anyway, that is all for today. I will see you all next time.